Okay, so I'm here with Kate Kendall of NCLR. We're sitting in her office. She has one of these fancy offices. As you can see, there's a Central Park behind us.
Who knew in San Francisco, Central Park?
So anyway, Kate is here in the East Coast for some meetings, and so I thought I would take the chance to ask you, Kate, what's happening in California? I mean, those of us who live on the East Coast, it's hard for us to keep up. So much is happening. Some of it's been great, some of it's been pretty awful. How does it feel to be a national leader in California?
Well, I'll tell you, it has been hard to keep up, and I feel like you want to tell people, keep your hands and arms inside the ride at all times, because it has been an amazing roller coaster. A year and a half ago, we were all like celebrating this huge marriage victory, and life was incredible and exciting. I was at the pinnacle of anything I could have hoped for in my career, and it was a moment of great elation, and the couples by the thousands and thousands were getting married, and to have to defend that ruling so quickly at the ballot box really was a dispiriting experience to even be involved in it. But you kept hoping that it would all work out and that we would prevail, Prop 8 would be struck down, couples would continue to get married, and it would be just a little blip to have to fight and defend ourselves, but we'd be successful. And when we lost, I mean, I was as devastated as I've ever been based on anything in my career experience. But now, this many months later, to see so many other states where we've won marriage, to see really this new energy and activism, I do worry a little bit about how it's all going to end and work out and what's going to happen in the meantime. But in a way, I kind of like the unpredictability and the chaos. I think it's emblematic of what it means to be in a civil rights movement. So, I'm pretty much feeling like game on.
Well, speaking of being in a civil rights movement, that brings up actually two questions. The first question, I imagine you've heard this once or twice before, but what about the Perry case? What's going on with that case? What do you, aside from what the issues were for you personally and for NCLR, what do you think we can really expect to see? A lot of people are very curious about what the backstory is in the Perry case.
Well, I don't have a whole lot of backstory stuff. I mean, what I know has pretty much been reported on the blogs or in the press. When the case we did not know the case was coming. We found out maybe a couple of days before it got filed. Got an email from Chad Griffin, Bruce Cohen, both people that I know who are involved in the foundation that's funding the litigation. And we had the same reaction I think a lot of people did, which is, whoa, this is a high stakes kind of play. That is a huge reward if you're successful at the U.S. Supreme Court, federally challenging marriage. Huge risk if you lose. One thing that was interesting is talking to Ted Olson directly. Ted Olson, this lion of the conservative right, everybody thought, oh my gosh, they couldn't believe Ted Olson was involved in the case along with David Boies. But Ted Olson, in talking to him on the phone about the case and sort of why he got involved, this was just a few days after the case was filed, he really convinced me that he is completely committed. He said he thinks this would be the most important fight of his legal career. And I believe he believes that, and he means it. Now, does that translate into success? Well, that's out of his control. But I do think they are committed. I think they're going to litigate it as well as you possibly could. But I have the concerns that anyone would have with the stakes so high. They've got a very short time frame. They've got to be very convincing and present a very convincing case as they go up on appeal. And they've got to present the kind of case that gets Justice Kennedy, who's that fifth vote. I think they'll get the other 4 votes, but they've got to get Kennedy. And if it's just a narrow challenge to Prop 8, and the fact that Prop 8 is unconstitutional, I think there's a quite a good chance that that lawsuit would be successful. If it's an overall challenge to every law that prohibits same-sex couples from getting married, 29 states have constitutional amendments. Boy, I think that is a really heavy lift for this court, given Kennedy's leanings as a more conservative states' rights jurist. But I'll tell you what, we're all going to be staying tuned to every twist and turn, and there's nothing I would hope for more than for the lawsuit to be successful, because it would certainly transform things very quickly for LGBT people in this country.
Great, thanks so much.